Today we're looking at a new product and it's a pretty exciting one. So let's get into the video. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at a new product and it's the Bull Ant Den. So maybe you haven't seen this one before, but we're going to have a little look at it and see what's involved and what it's good for and the quality of this product. So you can get these from Ant Shop Australia. So I'm going to put the website down in the description below if you want to have a look. So let's have a little look at this unit and see what it involves, and we'll even set up a bull ant. So stay tuned for that. We'll set a bull ant up in here, a beautiful new queen to show you guys as well. So this is a bit of a fly around of the nest here. As you can see, it's a fairly compact nest, and we'll get into the makeup of the particular nest here. Now there are a few different sizes available with different doors and different options and ways to get in and out. So on the website, check that out and you'll be able to see the different ways that you can set up your bull ant den. Now bull ants are a favourite for many ant keepers. They're a fascinating and amazing species of ants here in Australia. So many people want to keep them, and there's a lot of different ways you can keep them. But what I'm going to show you is this particular nest. So we've got a couple of entrances on either side there. We have this little removable lid that you can take off the top, and that's to access that little chamber inside there as well. So we have 3 test tubes inside here. So we've got this particular one here, and this has water in the end there, and it's got a little stopper. So you can pull that stopper up and you can fill it with water when it dries out, and that just neatly goes up against the end there where you've got a hole. Okay, and at the end here we've got this little chamber which you can treat like a mini outworld if you like. And what you can do there is you can put some sand in there, some ant sand, whatever you've got handy, and you can just put a little bit of a layer in there as well. But what we'll do is we'll get into that, we'll get into setting it up with all the sand, and we'll show you what the go is. First of all, let's have a look at the different styles you can get. So I've got 3 different styles here. So I bought one off the website, and yeah, Paul was kind enough to send me some other ones, so thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it, Ant Shop Australia. Okay, so you've got the chambers on either end, entrances. This one here, you've got an entrance on either side, and then on the top here you've also got a hole. So you can bury this thing under the sand and have them coming out from underneath, which is a nice natural setup there as well. And you've got that Aussie ant farm engraved on the top, which is a nice feature. And then you've got this last module here, and what you'll notice about this one is there's only the entrance there on one side and then the top one, nothing on the other side. So that's like an expansion module. If you need to add it onto the side, you can, and if you do that, that will give you 6 test tubes in the expansion, which is really good. So that's a little bit of an overview of the 3 different sort of styles you've got here. Now what I'm going to do is just going to get one of them, and I'm going to go about setting it up and show you how to do it all. So first of all, this is the overview of the nest. So you've got the test tube here with the water compartment and then an empty chamber, which is a good starting one. Then you've got these 2 other completely clear test tubes as well. You can take off the lid here, and if you like you can put some sand or anything else in there, but there are different options, and we'll get into that and show you some things as well. So you've got those entrances either side if you want to break out into an outworld, into other chambers, or into an expansion port as well. So it's a nice sturdy thick acrylic plastic around the outside here. It's got a nice tray, it's got this sort of rippled tray at the bottom there, so the test tubes sit in there nicely. So let's have a look at the size. So if we measure it across the top, I'm just going to do this in millimeters. Okay, so you've got it across the top there, 180 millimeters long. You can see the height there. Got that there, it's about 28 millimeters high, and then all the way across you can see here as well is about 65 millimeters all the way across. So a nice compact little unit. The test tubes inside are 20 millimeters for this one. So you've got that portion with the water, which is really good because you'll need that, and that's probably a good one for them to start in. Now these ones on the side you can expand out to the outworld like I said, or you can come out of the top there as well. So you can bury this unit under the sand and then just brush away the sand off the top of the test tube if you want to have a look at the ants and how they're going. Okay, so let's get into setting one of these up. So this particular one here, I'm going to show you with these particular modules. Okay. So the different modules have those same features, so the test tubes are there and they don't roll around. You can see their little ridges underneath there, which is really good, keeps them nice and stable. You can still move them around if you need, and then you've got the holes in the end of the acrylic there so they can get out of each of those test tubes. So they can expand out into this module as they go, and they've always got that one with the water in the end, which is great. So let's have a look at this particular module again. So we've got the entrances on the sides, and we do have that one on the top, and that's what we're going to do a little bit of a setup for. Now you can get a clear red to go over the top of this as well, which covers all three of those test tubes up if you want to see inside them without disturbing them too much. Okay, let's get into setting one of these ant dens up. So, going to get some ant sand. You can get that from them as well, a few different spots, or you can buy some yourself. If you're going to buy some yourself, just make sure you do clean it nicely, maybe boil it or wash it thoroughly so there's no bacteria or any nasties in that sand. Okay, so you can just scoop up some sand into one of the test tubes. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this all up so it's completely ready, and then the Queen's got a choice of where she wants to go. So just like so, and then you can lay that back in the tray. Just like that. So that's one of those test tubes filled up. And you can see it's nice. There's just a little few millimeters of room there, so you can just wiggle that little test tube up and out of the little container that they're held in. So just give it a nice little coating on the bottom. Very important that you have some substrate for your bull ants. Okay, that's very critical for the larvae so they can spin their cocoons. If you don't have any substrate, quite often they can't and they fail and they will die. So we're just going to scoop it up. I'm not going to put as much in here because I don't want it to get soaked up with that water. But it's a really nice feature with these test tubes that you can fill that water up at the end. So that's some great forethought there with the test tubes. I'll actually love that feature where they've got that plug in the end. So if it runs out of water, you can do it. Okay, so here is a bull ant queen. This is the one that I'm going to put in here. So this is the Myrmecia nigrocincta queen that I was sent by Bad Boy Ants, so thank you very much. I'm going to put her inside this bull ant den, set her up, and yeah, let's see how she goes. So what I've done is I've removed the plug on the outside of this nest in the hope that she will walk inside there as well. So you can see I've got them just lined up there nicely, and hopefully she'll find her way inside there. What I may have to do is actually remove the front of that other outworlder nest to get her inside. And I'll show you a little bit later about setting up an outworld on the outside of one of these as well. There she is. She's nice and big though. This is one of my favourite species of bull ants, Myrmecia, and it's because of the colouring. Got that orange and black striping like a tiger. And yeah, this girl she's very feisty, quite aggressive. So if you do get a chance to keep bull ants, you will find them very rewarding, but they are for the experienced ant keeper. Their sting is very painful, and some people have allergic reactions to them, so you need to be very careful what you do with bull ants, guys. Okay, is she going to move in? I'm not too sure about that. Now it is uncovered, so it's probably not the darkest and most inviting at the moment, but we might change that. So what I've done is I've taken off the little nest on the outside of this nest here, which is also from Ant Shop Australia. So I've just taken the nest part off and I've just got the outworld left here, and that's to try and encourage her to go across. So we'll see what happens. She's investigating, but she's not popping inside just yet, but she will. Have another little think, another little look. Nope, not just yet. You can see that honey there in her outworld. So the quality is really nice. Now what I've done there is I transferred over some eggs that were actually in that nest. But what I noticed is after I put them in, they had actually died. They dried out completely. So what I've done now is I've just covered over the bull ant den with a bit of cardboard, just to encourage her to go in where it's a nice dark spot. So let's see what happened. She has transferred over beautifully. Now let's get a closer look at her. Here she is. So you can see the bull ant den set up. And there she is. She has chosen to go into the one with the water reservoir, which is great. So the humidity's up there, which is nice. She's probably enjoyed a nice drink as well. And she's sitting there on that sand. So she can go in and out of all three of those test tubes. She won't feel too crowded. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? What a fantastic bull ant species. Myrmecia nigrocincta. Now they're those little eggs that have dried out and died in there, unfortunately. So hopefully, fingers crossed, she'll enjoy this bull ant den and she will lay some new eggs. Beautiful queen. Fantastic species. Now they don't use pheromones, they hunt, they're solo hunters, and they have exceptional eyesight. You can see there the large eyes on her head there, so very good at hunting. So what I've done on the end here, at the moment I'm keeping this fairly small, so I've just put a tray there, a little tray with water and one with honey. So she's got some access to some water and some food. And I've just put it in there. Now it is quite cramped. Now you don't have to do that. You can just leave that as a nice open area where she can walk in between the 3 different test tubes. What you can do though is you can actually add an outworld on the outside if you so desire. So here she is again. Let's see how she went. A couple of days later I checked on her again, and guess what I found? Man, I'm so excited. There she is, she's watching and she's guarding something. Can you see that on the other side of her? Let's get a little bit closer up and see what we can see. Here we go, look at that. Nice cluster of eggs on the other side. How many can we count there? Is it 5? Yep, I think it's 5 little eggs. Wow, so she must be really happy with this bull ant den. She has laid those eggs within a couple of days, so that's fantastic. So it's a nice setup there. She's got that substrate in the bottom. She has her water reservoir so she can drink, the humidity's there. And what you can do is add something like this or whatever you need as an outworld. So I can take those trays of honey and water out and I can put it into the outworld, put some substrate down in the outworld as well, and then she's got room to move. She can go in and out of those trays. So there we go. That's the look at the bull ant den, an overview of the particular one. So fascinating. I've been trying to get my hands on one for a while. Now there is a new option as well available, and this is the medium size here. So it is slightly smaller. Now this could be good for a smaller species of Myrmecia, or it could be good for things like Camponotus, slightly smaller queen setups. They've got the hydration here, which has just got some hydration gel in there, which is pretty cool, pretty funky. But you've got the same setup basically. You've got the little entrances in and out. You've got the 3 test tubes set up there, so you've got the ones either side again, so you can expand out into what you need. But it's just that little bit smaller for those smaller size ants. And so you can see here, it's the same width as the larger one, so that's that 65 millimeters across. It's the same height, so 28 millimeters. But as you can see here, it's just that little bit shorter, like so. So it takes up a little less room, a little more less room for your ants, but that's fine because this is for those smaller species. Okay, so there we go. There's the overview of the bull ant den from Ant Shop Australia. Hope you've enjoyed that so far. Now over to thank our Patreon followers or members. So a huge thanks to Happy Ant UK. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can head over to patreon.com/Novo Ants, and you can have a look at the options there. So you get early access to videos, you get some posts behind the scenes of the channel of Novo Ants, and some of my other species available there too if you wish. So head over and check that out if you would like to. So there's the look at the bull ant den. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, that's fantastic. There's another review for you guys, and hopefully we'll get some more reviews out soon. But we've also got some updates of my different ants that I have and how they've been going with the warmer weather. And also we've got another giveaway coming up shortly, so stay tuned for that one. Thanks everyone for your support, really appreciate everything you guys do. And remember, happy ant keeping.